on that B side. So think about how much pressure they're trying to do. They're trying to lay here onto David, who's been awesome on this map against Cloud9 recently.
He's honestly the clutch we saw just in the preview coming today. An ace for himself there. He's going to be tested immediately versus G2 if they decide to commit. Already getting a bit of noise as it looks like they set up the rendezvous, foreshadowing a further peek. And there goes the utility, wasting no time. Less than 20 seconds into the first round of this series, G2 finds themselves in B side of Breeze.
Easy one, too. Even avoiding that trip that was placed there from the two defenders over on that half wall, looking for the spam kill for the trip. This is a prime position for G2 to convert the pistol.
The util is so good from G2 just to chip away at that retake for Bestia. The frenzy, he's been going crazy for Jogamo in a lot of these instances. Least to start them off on the right foot, but Bestia has an answer, and they're trying to do it again. Leaf still fighting a few. Jogamo and Valen getting two as Bestia come back with a few of their own. David left alone, and that's what we were wondering. It's not going to be enough as Valen takes him down. And it just looked like Bestia could not lock down where the G2 members were.
It's a great start for the piss round for G2. You have BBB just peeking out first to break the camera. So right now for David, he didn't really know how many players were behind BBB at that point. So it allows for G2 to really go for the surprise execute into the B site. And think about these type of hits for both of these teams, actually. As Mimi mentioned on the desk, none of these teams are playing Phoenixes. None of these teams are playing Flashes to really support a push towards the back of the B site. So if you're actually able to pop a lot without having to spend a lot of util, think about the amount of util that's going to be available for the stalls on a retake, to stall the retake attempts of Bestia and vice versa. So this is nice.
So much damage David took just from the shock darts, so it's hard to come back when you're eating all that util. And possibly a rinse and repeat as that util goes right back into the choke of B. Loss is ready to take a fight. Protected for a moment by the cover, but Jogamo gets space, makes that area open for the team as they continue to push forward. And this time they do have Baby Bay on that flank, so they're covering all their bases.
And you see the difference, too. This fight's about to happen here towards that flank, but Baby Bay usually will not miss that fight. But you see just on the presence of loss inside of that dome, inside of that cove, how much util was actually expended just to get onto site. That's a lot less for G2 to have in the post plan. So think about those when Bestia is going to start getting their gun rounds and their money right. So far should be good for G2, though. They've been 100% conversion rate so far in this stage after winning pistol. So if you're a G2 fan right now, you could be comfortable here that you'll see a 2-0 scoreline, potentially even a stronger buy for the bonus round as they'll bring in 3 Bulldogs here.
Out of charges.
A few spams, escape frags, Leaf. The only one on the other end of this as they try to go for the spike deaths. And another alt orb going to David. As they do clear through that round. Nice and easy for G2 to start this one off and see if they can get through the bonus. Now, you mentioned those Bulldogs are going to be helpful as they get through this.
It's going to get a lot of bite for sure. For G2 here on the bonus round, they have that option. Because Baby Bay also have the Guardian, you could play slow if you want and default across the map because the Bulldogs are still quite good in terms of the buy that Bestia will bring out. They didn't get too many kills in the first couple of rounds, so there's no Operator. There's no Outlaw that's being purchased by Bestia this time around too. So there's a chance here for G2 to walk around that map to scan a little bit in terms of how Bestia sets up the defense so they can run a better attack once they get their guns.
Conditioning again. At least some forces for G2 towards this B area. So now Bestia's heard this 3 rounds in a row, but they may not get the complete strat. So G2 already putting a lot in their mind. The map still covered by G2 members across the board here.
Because the cove was there, but they never threw the high tide for Valen that was sectioning off this side of B, there's no rotations coming out right now from Bestia. So they're assuming already that there's a fake going on. So it's Baby Bay to try to get this pick onto loss.
Quick peek. Info gained. Whether they smother him or not is the question. We see everybody running over here actually going quite quick on this pace, leaving Leaf for that mid control. And now they tempt A for the first time. G2 is going to try to crash through here.
Yeah, Leaf is just going to watch rotate. He's got this Outlaw, which would do some decent damage on the ones rotating across. And here's that fight on the back of the A site, though.
Lost his challenge. 16. He's actually back up after the wall. And now Chibazine and him are going to try to defend the back side of the site. A spam in from Trent and Valen. Clear some space for breathing room and a quick plant.
Baby Bay could just be positioned here. Sees that fight. Information on one. Still trying to figure out what the rotation's going to come from, but because it's so slow and Leaf already has that presence on mid, G2 will have an idea that's the full rotate from the defender spawn of Bestia. And after losing another one there where you have a bonus round that's guaranteed to be converted for G2 now, the last two players will try to salvage these weapons into the next round. So a great start for G2. We talked about how it's going to be such an uphill battle for the Challengers team. As Kaplan mentioned, you know, it could work so well for you to play this double duelist meta, or to not play to the Leviathan way with the Phoenix in your comps locally. But once you step onto the main stage, even if your opponent's not playing to that meta either, they're still playing a different type of style and protocol that you're going to have to keep guessing every single time. This is going to give a lot of pressure for Bestia to learn every single round.
And it's something that G2 is refining too, right? They just get Valen on this Harbor instead of an Astra or an Omen. So yeah, they have to learn what it's going to be. And right now, a lot of it, as we mentioned before, is G2 walking a lot of it in here. Saving that util and just being able to throw it all in Bestia's face. Valen there actually 3-0 on top. Let's start with the Harbor. That gun round getting through smooth for everybody. Leaf keeps the Outlaw in mid, so it looks like they might repeat on A here as Bestia is going to try to get in their face for a round.
Triple wall done on elbow, which is fine. It's the Outlaw watching it from a long range as well. G2 senses that against the anti-eco, or against the eco for their opponents, they should be playing a little bit more passively towards the spawn. The bad news right now for Bestia in this current state of the game is that it's 3-0 for G2, and if you're looking at how many of these players are close to ults or whatnot, a timeout in the next round probably is not going to be as beneficial because you don't really have anything that's going to help you on big swing rounds. And G2's been doing nothing but sight slams that unfortunately is not being held here by Bestia, so they're keeping it basic for G2. They're just converting these rounds one by one.
It's always G2 way, right? This isn't the Sight Slam Phoenix Neon. It's the G2 Sight Slam. They lose Leaf in this process, but should be able to spam back on some nice util pings as G2 once again clears a way into sight. They still have to go up against the two rifles, Chubazine and David, and that could cause some issues here. Baby Bay is going to be the first contact into the site if that angle isn't for Jogamo just yet. Baby Bay actually fails on the first shot, and that's more space for Bestia as they lose another 2v3 here.
It's just a late lurk from Trent, though. That's going to be the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah, he's probably going to move a little faster now as he hears the shots knife out to get those steps and get the pacing. So now I see the back of Melzer cleaned up. There it is. Trent on that lurk, cleaning up the round, and 4 in a row now for G2.
And Bestia thought that it was going to be easier for them to retake towards that site because they already took down Leaf at the bottom of middle after that first trade. So technically there shouldn't be anybody else moving on that side, especially when also this just happened. The recover came from site into the mid-double doors, so for them, the bingo call was already that Trent is still on A site with the rest of the team. So good readjustments coming out from G2 to always keep Bestia on their toes. Currently being tamed in this first half of Breeze, but they are looking for aggression. The first op comes out for a loss, holding it towards middle.
An ult from main, and we slide stun. Like, I can ult from here, and it'll push him in, and you slide stun.
He's in main right now.
Or dart the fall away as well.
I'm a drone with it. I dart for deeper.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, running.
Could be in main.
He's here, on the right. Tagged. I'm darting as well.
3, 2, 1.
3, 2,
Yo,
1,
small gap
dart.
on slant on the right. Small gap on slant on the right.
Slant, I think.
You got out to yellow.
Got out. They full gave, boys.
They have up. I'm gonna recall to the right.
Okay, play up.
It's 2 yellow, boys.
I'm holding left side yellow. Could be bridge. They have an up.
You want to claim?
Up dead.
3, 2, 1, claim.
Shocking in front of you guys.
One more Jake yellow. Harden, back up.
Dead.
You're good. Back
Wait,
up.
we just got a shot mid on it?
Layers.
Up down mid, I'm gonna fight him.
We didn't
Yellow, boys.
Alright,
Relax.
just wrapping playtime, okay?
He's going spawn, 100%.
Play time. I'm fighting him.
I'm making noise for you, Nate.
He fully dipped.
No, he's on the right.
Chill, boys.
I'm one.
We're good.
He's still fighting spawn.
Right here.
He's right here.
Can't see him. I'll kill him in 3.
He's on you.
Don't see him.
He's still
On you, Trent.
close to you, Trent. Nice.
Let's
go, boys.
Hot dog.
Even better that they stay alive right now for G2 so that Leaf can get the backstab and get one pip closer to the ult, but the protocols, as sometimes people are criticizing the communications that could be a little bit muddied for G2, but that was actually quite clean in terms of how fast you wanted to go off the exit, off the reckoning. making sure that they're crossing all the T's, dotting all the I's, from Reckoning on the left side, Recon on the right side, and making sure that Bestia has no chance to hold sight to fight back.
A big sigh there from Melzer as the timeout button is hit, and you're right, everything from
Extra 4 points, therefore even hiring the chances and confirming your spot at Champs in Shanghai later this year. But yeah, what is the conversation here from Coach Phonics going into the next round on to Bestia? And the one thing that you mentioned here, Riv, in terms of how much pressure they felt when they played against Crew, the good news is that they at least won the first map of the series, so that confidence is there. And they also bounced back in the lower brackets with a revitalized C9 when Coach Veer took over, and they were looking primed exactly for a deep run. So for them, they've had a nice little cushion moving into, in terms of confidence, moving into this matchup. And G2, the same thing. They had to play against M80, the best team in Challengers that we had this year. And that's a nice cushion for them, mentioned by Trent, for them to have the lower bracket run as well. So the hill continues to be also steep for Bestia.
Nice timing. Bestia has a bit of a read here, but it is lower by. So they're just looking to make these Sheriffs work together as much as possible. A jump out, triple crossfire from G2 as they just quickly smother down and Goomba stomp Bestia out of A.
Makes me notice too, like how assertive they are for some calls. Last time when we just had the comms in the previous round, I think it was Trent saying, do you want to claim, get into the cove, 3, 2, 1, go in. But it's not like the 100 Thieves way of like a ping pong where they just want to really go. They're still asking the question, and maybe it breaks the timing a little bit because it's not as assertive because the other ones need to answer to the questions before. But it still works here on the way that they're playing the anti-eco against Bestia.
And running. Jogamo wants his ult. Find out where that last kill is. Looks like Trent will have it here as David looks for one more and finds it. Get out. Ooh, baby bait. Easy find there, and he just skirts out of the Radianite ring. Easy round for G2, 6 now, as they are going to see what comes out of Bestia in this next gun round. Pretty much what the timeout was for, what they can set up and see if they can start to strike back against the America's champs.
Oh, David.
Sometimes it'd be like that.
And this is a lot of confidence for G2 to move into this series as well. We haven't seen, as Kaplan mentioned, the Ascent for G2 going into the stage. Overall, Ascent has not been the best for a G2 throughout this year with so many different comp changes that they tried to utilize across. But most recently, I think the last time that we did have some information on the Ascent games, it wasn't looking too good either. So I think right now it's for G2. They want to go for some sort of Hail Mary, testing out their compositions, testing out something new. While Bestia, because locally for them in LATAM South, they haven't had the best results either going to play Ascent. Switching from the default comp to try and bring a chamber in there. And unfortunately not getting any W's for their column either for Bestia.
Well, they hope the W finally comes out of an operator purchase, but Bestia have placed it in A main. Unlikely to see G2 this round. And Baby Bay is going to be working the op on the other side here to try to open up B site. Lost may actually find Trent. Util out for a moment, but he drops the op. A huge investment for Bestia off the map, and now they realize a big focus was over towards A, so G2 starts to hit. Jogamo's cleared, though. The ultimate David got from last round on that Sheriff shot comes into play huge, and now G2 has to skirt around this. Melzer picks up his first kill. Can it be another one? This is huge. He starts to clear mid, and now G2 have nowhere to run. What a round for Bestia to get back. It's on a pressure cooker. 10 seconds left here as Valen's forced to plant. We talked about the harbor fragging. We talked about him being on the new agent. Now it's can he clutch on it in this situation. Takes a bit of chip there, but this is going to be tough. He's got a bit of a wall to work with. Looks for the gap, and he finds the first one. Jubazine is down. He doesn't really have to work against too much util. It's all about the firefight now as Valen takes a bit of the high ground. This angle is insane, actually, to see somebody's head cross, but he's going to find the 1v1, and it is going to be for Takalia. Valen buys a bit of time, but it's always going to be for Bestia in that 1v2.
Looked very doable, rather, for Valen back on this Harbor. BBB also mentioned here when they were playing the composition in the past and you had Valen on the Astra, it just allows for him to be a little bit more free and more confident here around his util to play. Because you have to think mechanically of how to play the Harbor. You have to get into a zone to throw an orb. The wall, you're kind of like just shackled to move. But he had enough time to place the Cove down, isolate some fights around his bubble, but just couldn't win the 1v1 against Takulia, who has also had a resurgence in terms of his performances ever since 2026 with Bestia here.
A bit of momentum. You could say that timeout does pay off. Bestia find an answer. Taco is able to invest in an op again, and that's what they were looking for last time.
It was in the hands of Lost before, and that's the beauty of this comp as well, or this team. Double duelists, both of them could op with aggression between Lost and Taco.
Leaf jumps in, creating a bit of noise there, and he goes down. An interesting choice by G2 to see if they can kind of tempt what Bestia is going to do in this situation. They lose 2 already here. And now G2 really have to call the audible. What a resurgence just from these last few rounds, but can Bestia contain the momentum?
There's still a lot of options that G2 could work with right now, though. They have 2 big ults. BBB is watching that line in case Bestia, under that minute mark, wants to clear up in front of the A site to get a little bit more map control. But because this camera is over here, too, it's easy for them to take control of that B side, get that information late round where players are coming from, and they can just play a 5-man retake over onto the B site. So if Valen could actually make it into the site with Trent, those ults could actually do a good job in terms of stalling Bestia and dwindling down numbers as Bestia will try to retake.
He almost has to let Valen in alone so he can keep the Hunter's Fury away, but they are going to commit. Help each other out as that plant comes in. A little bit of denial to give Bestia time to move across the map throughout that Hunter's Fury. Pressure, but he gets Valen. What a shot to find him in the site. The pushing comes from David as well, and now Baby Bay is just watching the coattails of Bestia head in to protect the spike on B. Another round, and this one's going to be flawless coming from the Let Him squad.
And you would think here that Valen was going to be able to dodge that and get that plant down here for G2, but somehow just guessing where that third beam should be shot connects here onto Valen, and that's a spike down. Beautiful first shot here by Takulia, yeah. All of them trying to find timings to encroach. Both duelists playing together on Bestia to watch each other's backs to make sure that nobody gets the timing on that backstab for G2. And to stop that push, to get a flawless round for them as well while they have the operator, you're happy with it. And Josh, half-half. Was he happy or not?
I thought about it. He was going to hit that timeout button, but he waited.
Happy with the call probably from Valen in this round, who are looking to move aggressively through the mid-double doors.
The detection, the util. Great start by Bestia here to gain confidence a little bit more, but can they convert the 4v5 now as G2 is waltzing in just as if they had won the site take?
Keep it simple. You have a Reckoning to stall. Keep Trent towards that back of the site, towards A main. You have a Hunter's Fury. So right now for Bestia, you have to start hurrying up.
Tries to get him off the slow tag, and they do find it. Actually taking down the Jet is nutty with the Hunter's Fury. Beautiful from Trent, and Leaf has that angle. Misses the first shot and has to reposition here. They're all getting squeezed into the A main position, which could be a bit sticky here for G2. Taco waiting for the rest of the team to make this distraction, to start breaking the crosshairs. He actually identifies one, Bricks is down, and they're going to be able to squeeze the last 2 G2 members into A main. David has to get back to the spike, though, and it looks like Trent is going to have this all locked up from his position. Ooh, and he even steps out to make sure David can't get away.
I felt like I was dubbing that when I said the woo, looking at Trent's face, because he was actually quite happy of the clean shot he just pulled there on that release and the fallback of David trying to save his weapon. But the 2 shots that we saw here off screen, right here and now for Baby Bay, close range right into that Neon ult, was what was needed here for G2 to win that round. Focusing on the first one, trying to defuse, and there you go. That's what we wanted. Dre to pop off here with the op on the side of G2, and he's got some huge impulse frags
on their game today, able to hit these shots. And if it's not right when they open the site, it is defending the site aggressively.
Well, The mouse pad has been dried up, but we still have the Cove lighting up the map. That's being controlled here for G2 to start. And that's just to fake some pressure on middle. It's going to have to keep players really a little bit turtled back. They don't have full control, speaking of Bestia, on mid control here. It comes down to the extremity control from the camera look and the op once again from Lost down towards this A main line.
Lost hasn't even activated that dash yet. Waiting for the first shot. He won't need to. Dodges out on Baby Bay's hit. And Chubazine's actually going to take Jogamo down. A second one over towards that B site. And this has happened to G2 quite a few times. They activate on either side of the map, and it seems to be taken apart. But they sometimes have an answer, and this could be one of those times.
Flank, though. Right from Melzer.
Maybe a few more kills, drop some weapons out of the hands of Bestia. But yeah, this one's going to be tough. Instantly closed in on as soon as that plant starts to happen, so they're sourcing out another kill. Melzer has that flank timing perfectly. And they know exactly where Baby Bay is to hopefully clean this round up without any more casualties. A third round for Bestia just on the horizon here, and it really needs to be this kind of momentum before they start the second half.
You wonder now here when Josh RT was hesitating on hitting that timeout button, will it come down now? Just to not give a chance for Bestia to really come back in this game. Remember what happened against Cloud9. It was at round number 12. David A's clutch. A 1 versus 4 on the site. And then it just gave that momentum for Bestia to clear out here that second half and upset C9 on C9's best map since Coach Veer came in. But looks like no timeouts will come out. They still have another good buy coming out here for G2. House shields for a couple, but the Total Fuss is going to be the first thing trying to go for a pick. It's back to a piss around strat, though. 5-man hit over on B.
Yeah. Leaf, the only one hanging back, right behind that drone. Quick, concise, and clearing layer by layer. Jogamo starts to go a little bit further forward with the overdrive on. Bestia trying to retaliate defensively here as they set up accordingly. It's just going to be the plant. They've divided the site. Baby Bay creeping out, looking for the opening kill here. A lot of that util being prepped now. The layers to come from Bestia on the way in, and they lose David. The next shot here looks to be in favor of Baby Bay, and he does wallbang. Just chipping away at the members of Bestia as they head into the site, and they haven't even found the rest of the members of G2. What a relay bolt, though, to get the 1v1s online. Trent, from that distance, still has it, cleaning it up with Leaf, and they are going to be able to take that round 8 now for G2.
And that's the thing that's annoying to deal with for Bestia when you're trying to flood back into the site. They had all 5 players getting ready to move towards that half wall. But when Baby Bay lands that shot, because he has the ult from Chamber, that slow field on the ground just slows things down a little bit more and does not give a chance for Bestia to really activate in full force in a retake in the back of the site. And I love the protocols that you have from G2 here. Leaf being the
Good call.
The one to secure the round for the team by playing towards that window. The other one's playing on site and off each other as well. Always identifying where their win cons are. It was a player advantage. Time in their favor from the spike. And here's a fast split into A to end the half.
Oh, pinched. This is going to be very tough for Lost. Studios comes up with 2 as Melzer was the target there. They finally clear A site, and G2 is planting. This kill from Leaf is just basically going to solidify the round if you can find David right away. There it is. Taco Leo with the op. Has to hit every angle on point here. And G2 are going to be happy to get away with this 9-3. There it is. Trent takes him down. And G2 go through the first half with a lot of confidence here to let Bestia know this will not be easy.
Yeah, at least you're happy here for Bestia that you were able to salvage 3 rounds there. Couple of rounds that went in their favor too, by one of them being a flawless, so it's nice for them to finally activate towards that 7th round. But the whole story of this first half was definitely the protocols of G2 and the dominance that they've been showing so far in this series.
We're gonna get the side swapped and see if Bestia can bare their teeth on the attack when we come back from break. Don't go anywhere.
Under their belt to try to make it to champs, and I've noticed that when They're trying to clear the jitters, though, before starting this game. Takulia was staying as long as he could on that stage to warm up against bots, just to be ready for the fight against G2 now. And hopefully that warm-up will help Takulia and the rest of the team activate themselves on the attack side here of this pistol. It's an open site for G2 as they're reading a push on B. So that trip is going to activate now. The sound and execution that Bestia has encroached into the A site. And now for G2 to slowly make their way back here on this 5 versus 5 fight.
They're forward pushing here, but the plant is more for A main, so they gotta be careful of actually how much space they gain. This mid doors is going to be where they come from. 2 eyes from Bestia on the doors. His spawn is getting pushed. Lost and Melzer with some quick kills. And this is just G2 not being able to source out how far Bestia had gotten into the site, where they could be coming from.
Positioning was difficult as well. Baby Bay was basically playing it to help out and watch towards the mid double doors. They could crunch from the B site to A. But because he was forced to fall back and there was walls coming up on the side too, his rotate across here towards Troll does not work out in his favor. Because again, with no information, everybody's just getting surprised, flooding back into A. That's a strong pistol here for Bestia to take.
What a push. Melzer coming online for this pistol. And it's the momentum Bestia needs here, especially for the younger players to get in here and feel comfortable on the stage. I think Melzer, one of the things he said was important to tell him is, you can beat any of these guys, any day. Sometimes that's all a player needs to hear. Okay, getting that spam, hearing for the quick fight, and Lost gets another one with a snap kill here, and he's not gonna stop David and him go for more as they protect elbow, and G2 goes for a quick attack round.
All right, just jumping across here too, just to potentially maximize orbs. Lost was already halfway there, but Taco is also slowly creeping up. Second flawless of this matchup for Bestia against G2 so far. Yeah, you're seeing G2 trying to do almost as similar than their piss around strat, just to continue that pressure over on that B line. Good news for them is they can see here how Bestia kind of opens up when they're leaning towards this B side. But it's only going to be good enough in my eyes for this next upcoming round if you have Bestia try to work towards the B side again, because they're in their bonus round. They don't have the best of weapons. It's going to be a full rifle round where potentially they could have wanted to push quickly into the B site. But very similar to G2 on the first half, it's a slow default. Putting the cameras to see where G2 could be accessing the lanes here, especially when it comes down to Baby Bay. Might have to be the one on point for G2 with this chamber pick.
And they're just looking for the ADS Vandal 2 from Loss. Almost acting like an operator here for a moment. Leaf getting ready for the Vipers, Snakebite rather. As they start to deny towards A. Up and over though. Loss instantly into the site trying to create space. Critical miss by Baby Bay there to keep David alive towards mid, and they keep moving into the site. Loss does get his kill. As Trent doesn't know which way to look, and he's gonna get turned up a little bit there. Does get a kill on Loss really quick though. They are not stopping. And G2 still trying to kind of waltz into the site here without the protection of utility or each other. Baby Bay. This is a very big ask. And one is checked off the box. They've created the 1v1s for him. It's going to be pop-up, though, and he's not going to have that decision correct. 4 for Melzer as he starts to get himself online.
Yeah, big round for Melzer. Especially denying here the gun round from G2. So a bonus round converted for Bestia, starting their run on the attack side too, and that was a freebie that just was drawn around the hat of David. Baby Bay's not going to like that. Or it comes down to missing those critical fights for that first angle. You TP away, and you lose all that space where your teammates are relying on you to cover up towards the tunnel. So the 2 players towards that back of the site start isolating each other where they can't help each other out. And that's why you saw here like it was a little bit mismatched and playing the protocols and playing to their strength for G2, who are usually very good for trades. But Bestia are identifying that. Just to continue to move forward, the wall contact play does great pressure, gives great pressure onto G2's defense. And that was one of the win cons looking at this matchup here between Bestia and G2.
They go for somewhat of their stinger play, but only on 2 players from the side of G2. Oh my God, Baby Bay coming online. He wasn't happy about that miss last round, so he goes for the quick close-up right. Actually gets himself a gun and ships in the night right now. Can he snap this one? Loss is a little bit faster there, and he needed to be if they would have any chance in this round.
2 different timings here, though. Trent is going to spot these 2 players, but there comes Leaf, but he only has a stinger to work with.
Oh, the discipline. He's going to... Oh, he gets peeked at the time. Chibazine knowing exactly what needed to happen across the map. Now they've just got G2 split here for an easy sight. And what would be cruising in with this stinger and this bandit in just a bit. Just alt orbs for the side of Bestia. Another nice round.
Leaf was on that flank after Baby Bay did whatever he could on middle, holding that with that headhunter.
Double picked up. Some time to upgrade through mid. Those weren't protected. Still have the camera out. No, they're not coming from elbow. So they see and spot it from tunnel. Jogamo is trying to pressure them out of the position so the shot from Valen can come through. And that's going to be the quick close in from Bestia. They know they cannot toy with G2 in these situations and squish them right out of B.
Nice there that David had the full health and armor. Valen did connect with the Outlaw, but it did a 140. So David was able to stay alive. But these shots from Baby Bay, like I said, did whatever he was trying to do to hold down towards that middle. But then that flank could have been the best thing. Because David was in the window, he was watching for that push towards B main. Leaf was able to sneak through that. But thankfully here, Bestia, grouping up together, was able to just capitalize on Leaf on that rotate. There's no chance here for G2 to play that. At least they did some good damage on their eco round. Only investing in, what, 2 stingers on a previous round? Now an op on the attack side for Lost, watching towards the window into the B site. Not too sure exactly here if Baby Bay's gone in to get his ult out, because he did invest into a rifle in this round. So playing with his teammate back and forth with Jogimo, being that jiggle to be the first contact into any A pressure.
Ooh. Bladestone invested too. Big info. His eyes just widened on that screen. He's backing up into the site right now. Here comes the high tide. A delay after delay layer. So G2 can try to get some positioning or at least just stop this altogether.
Orb's going to slow them down right now, though. So that's Hunter's Fury gone. But thankfully, Chubi still has the Reckoning if they want to go for a phase 2. Comes down to the noise. They're trying to activate on the B side, so the 2 lurkers, maybe on middle, could try to catch some rotates. But G2's not giving him an inch. So no punishment there for G2. Comes down to the anchoring and the triple setup that they have on the B side for G2 to hold the B hit.
G2's just wondering if mid could be pushed as well, but they have to focus forward. You see everyone crashing in from Bestia towards that ladder and castle side. Oh, the site is about to explode right now, and towards the backside, Leaf and Valen come up huge, setting up that garrison. They start to move forward under the spike being planted. Oh, no. G2 get 2 more kills. Bestia try to plant in the site while everyone's fighting, and it just does not pay off.
For when you had a nice 4-piece from Melzer in that 3rd round, unfortunately this time around could not get the spray down onto who I think was Trent or Valen, either or. But it became that kill whiff that allows G2 to flood back into this B site.
10 seconds left.
I love the protocol still, though, that Bestia had going into that B site. They shock darted into the cove around the Reckoning, just punishing anybody that's trying to find timings through smokes on G2's side. Yeah, the vibes are still good.
Sometimes you gotta laugh at yourself. We've all been there. Law still has that up. Baby Bay has the ultimate. It looks like he pulls that right out too. So Tour de Force is here. We're gonna go long guns against each other as A is where that will happen. Ooh. Lost it. Was not favored in that situation. And Baby Bay comes out on top. He actually pushes forward to go for it again without rendezvous up. Why would you expect this? Oh my God, he's smeeging. And now he needs to unsmeeg very fast before he goes down. Oh, Takulia takes advantage of that. They don't want it though, not yet. Really nice to pull out the Reckoning. You still have the lurk from David.
That's the biggest thing, because all of G2's defense had been pulled out from the B side. Nothing really watching towards B or middle, because they're not playing a Cypher. It's up to Leaf. He's playing out in the open to show himself, and that's how it happens. As you get punished, it gives a chance now for Bestia to open up and get information on site, and it's B for the taking.
Easy. It is Bastia's way right now, and that is all the way to B. I mean, you still have Melzer looking for any breadcrumbs that could be over towards the A site, and we'll have a hopeful answer here as they lose Taco. He has to move a little bit faster. They're looking for him, and now they know they can push that fact inside the site. But everybody's out. Bastia just playing the distance. This must be so weird for G2. Not finding anybody in sight. Cove getting dropped quite fast there, and now they're in the open. Camera's not going to be active for this. Half defuse. Actually, Valorant comes up with 2, and Bestia plays with their food a little too long.
Bestia had such good information after that duel won by David, but they played too many inserts. Chibazine was playing on the top of middle. Melzer was trying to flank from the back out towards that spawn. And then the other two played outside of sight, so there was no way for them to communicate with each other to try to win the round. I guess because they knew nobody was retaking so far for G2, you could play outside of the site and try to catch players off the rotate. But with nobody really focusing on, this. But going into the play-ins, they found their own type of play style by putting David into the Senti. He finds his timings on alerts just like you saw in the previous round, and Loss and Taco could leverage their aim to win the rounds back, potentially here for Bestia as we come back from a timeout.
Baby Bay forced into Rendezvous, and out of that position as he still hits a few shots. They can understand a bit of how this is being protected, but can they kill him? Taco with a nice slide into safety there as Loss encroaches into the site faster than Valen can react. Jeez, this was explosive from Bastia, and Coach hit that timeout button pretty hard, so we can see what they have now in the works. Already, Loss again in their face, and I think this is something we saw from them before, is that they kept pushing up, they kept getting a little more aggressive after their plays.
Almost out.
G2 was trying to find a little bit of a timing, feeling that because they were able to convert a scenario where they had less players in the previous round into a W in their column, they could do it again here on a 3 versus 5, especially with the mixed pot of buys that you have for Bestia. But again, David's utility, the camera sees one, and everybody's just kind of isolated in the end, and Bestia's aggression turns out to be another flawless. Third one for them now in this game.
See, Lost with the Furia spray there. Called that out from Academy. Paying respects. You see this again. Oof. Just ducks right under it. They're making Baby Bay feel the pressure this time, too. When they find them, they kind of source them out immediately.
That's definitely the important thing for this comp, too, for G2, right? When you're putting a lot of trust into Baby Bay as his chamber, you got to be on point every single one of these games. He had a rough one against Furia in the upper brackets, but found his footing against M80 and has had some pretty decent shots so far against Bestia. But definitely, as you mentioned it, Riv, as soon as a shot is missed, how much space is instantly taken by Bestia? And G2 has to make sure that they plug those holes a lot more quickly when Baby Bay misses a shot and is forced to TP out.
A new look from Jogamo here, sliding across the middle of the map, figuring out what to do on this Viper wall. A little control from that operator. Moving to the right side here. It looks like Loss is going to set back up in A main, but the space is gained, I feel, from G2. They can make the informed decision that a lot of this action could be coming A or double doors. And there's the rest of the audio cues that will confirm they are correct. Oh my God, Valen hiding amongst the enemy right now, actually within arm's reach, and that's not what Lost wanted. Dashes right into a hug from Jog. Where are they going to go from here? Got 2 in A main, 2 in the back of the site. G2 has to figure out how to get him out here as we're looking through the eyes of Chibazine.
They need to protect the VIP, which is Leaf here. If they're able to make it in the back of the site with the pit, that gives G2 a chance, and it starts off well with Taco falling down.
They might be able to strip Bestia of their members before they even need to get the pit down. They've been so good at dissecting these site holds here from Bestia, and they will do it once again to push Melzer off of the site. They hold that all. Leaf's still going to get the defuse anyways. I mean, Valorant should be getting it, but it doesn't matter. That's how confident they are. They are just cruising through right now. G2 get to map point.
And that's what was annoying here for Bestia, holding that pulse plan. Playing a little bit off-site this time around too, but when G2 started experimenting with the Harbor on this map, that's the slicing wall that plays control containment and not give a chance here for the attack to really move as quickly as they want to and move into the right positions into the A site. That's how Valorant was able to find his timing. Get that pick there onto Lost, and the rest of them for G2 allows for them to just set up here for a clean retake. Just using the non-pressure that they're feeling right now, right? They had to wait for the high down, their own cove, and still win these fights.
They're definitely playing their game. This is one of those we're focusing on us games that players always talk about. G2 is feeling it. They're even going to push out mid to get a little bit more info on this as we watch Taco, a position he's gotten quite a few kills from already on this map. Oh, he's going to get challenged by Util, but he stays for the last moment. And that's the moment he does take a shot at the utility. Just G2 able to figure out Bestia through and through.
And the timing too. Protocol once again staying very clean. Leaf just waiting for that drone to come up before so that it guarantees the shot onto Taco trying to break that drone. Advantage now is Lost though. Finds a little bit of a space towards the tunnels.
Oh. Put the barrel right in Trent's face. Leaf
puts a bullet.
Very fast trade. Doesn't even care what the range is on that. But this is the run. Bestia actually quickly choose the soft site. Wait a minute. Leaf may just make it a 1v1 before this actually happens. Puts his orb up, and that's actually, what a challenge from Chibazine. Comes through the orb to take the fight still in the same position here, and now they put the pressure to keep this map alive onto G2.
Kind of wish he had Valorant's Reckoning now after all with the defuse on the previous round, but
right.
Jogamo has the Odin. This is going to be fun to watch a Neon slide with a...
The Joden heading into the site. Will he go backside? Does create the fast lane for that entry. Nice try with the Harbor Util. Oh my God. Chibazine has no answer. And it was quickly for the overdrive as Baby Bay tries to put the final touches on one more kill here. Now up to David. We've seen the clutch before against Cloud9, but it's gonna be too much from the Joden. 13-8 here for G2 as they head to their map of Ascent. One map up.
What Lost could bring. I think it's better for him in terms of how he could escape, tackle Leah the same way as a Neon.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they want to sacrifice not having a Phoenix in their compositions and their identity for this play-ins.
Well, here we go. On to map 2 for this matchup. Losing this ends your playoff race. And as we said before, G2 is basically a final boss of this lower bracket run, as Bestia is trying to do their best to get a win here and keep it alive. Looks like the focus towards A is going to find that soft site. Lost is going to have to do quite a bit to stay alive here. Using the util bit. Finds one. Great choice there. Actually running in front of the clone. Cost Jogamo his life. Ooh. Quick trades. Baby Bay actually went for a solo there. You see that happen over at Tiles as they're re-wrapping through mid. But that's also Trent. He could have a timing, and he has to be the one to really make an impact on this round because his team is about to get swarmed in sight.
Was able to have a huge backstab previously. Let's see if he can do it again, this time on Ascent. That is Trent.
He's waiting for their activation, knowing they might be looking his way. They go for the 360 spin, and he still clears both. A turret just coming back through for the squad here, and G2 are able to answer right back. Even losing Jogamo on the site take. Taco, huge on the Bandit.
He didn't come here to die.
Has to almost stay on this now. Trent has all the advantage, and a 3K for him. That lurk was huge once again for G2.
Now Bestia has to be afraid of the amount of people that could lurk around for this roster. You're playing double Senti. Usually you have Baby Bay cutting the rotates. Leaf finds his timings on the lurks as well. But it's now Trent that saves the piss around in 2 occasions over 2 maps so far. That instantly converts a 5 versus 3 that Bestia had back into a 3v3. The crossfire is perfect for G2. And they steal that pistol away from the Beast.
Little play from the Book of Calm there. Just all the way around. Now to B main. G2 attempting this, but Taco wants to stay for another quick kill. Takes the armor from Leaf, but loses his life in the process. Baby Bay straight up mid. God, he is just schmoving. Oh. Cleans up the second one. May not realize there's a few more, but he actually skirts around the situation. And man, G2 has all the positioning to make this one work. They are really making Bestia feel uncomfortable on this map to start.
You're going to have to think for Bestia here is, again, this was a composition that G2 really used it as their signature back last year. You're going to have to go back into the old vaunts to remember how G2 kind of plays this map, especially on the attack side. It's usually fairly slow because you're playing double senties. You have aggressive walls being thrown here on either A or B, so you have to force Bestia maybe to play some aggro lines on defense as well. Because if not, if you're depriving yourself from baiting out the information that the turret could get and the wall could get from Leaf and Baby Bay, that is still going to give some good active information for G2 of where Bestia is trying to work the map, which most likely would mean that they're given a lot of space that G2 could take because those pieces of utility are never bested and never tested.
Okay.
Blind is dead.
Another round for G2. They did lose Jogamo in the end, but that was the whole purpose of giving him the Marshall to run forward. And yeah, a little bit different than Breeze, playing both sides of the map here very early instead of conditioning towards one. Yeah. Ever since he missed that, that rifle shot, he has been kind of on it. We shook that right off. Now to bonus round here, a big one for Bestia to strike back.
Disadvantage for Bestia is very similar to Breeze, not being able to capitalize on big rounds on pistol or big damages on your star duelists, so there's no operators in the round here that G2 has. So the bonus is still quite good for the attack side as they're, once again, the slow play creeping up. That's a nice little early drone, though, for Bestia to now identify this pressure on Cat.
Big util fight as they float to safety on both sides, but very hurt on both sides, or at least for Jogamo. And no forward push yet. I think they're going to wait Baby Bay again to start getting up mid. They're going to have to realize at some point this needs to be more covered.
Especially when there's no camera watching the mid time.
Nothing.
It's because the door is broken, so that means, though, you have to force these guys to watch towards spawn. That's more space now that G2 could start taking in the front in these extremities. Look at that pressure that Baby Bay brings forward just by Pizza. How much paranoia is there for Bestia because they're not finding information?
Leaf can still make noise here, too, or catch a rotation if that's the play. Fake into the tree area as it looks like they're going to take a bit of control of tree and jungle. But Bestia is here to anchor the site. They're not trying to leave. Quick move from Lost as he tries to reposition, and it's not going to be enough as G2 sniff him out instantly. And Taco can't even help from heaven. Yeah, they are finding the least path of resistance every time. And okay, Leaf's like, did you guys see that? I didn't expect it. Stinger kills for him.
Yeah, against two guys that had Phantoms. That's a demoralizer for Bestia for sure. Unfortunately, you can't really call a timeout yet, in my eyes, for Bestia because this is just G2 winning gunfights. I think the reason why also they're kind of playing in the unknown and kind of left all that space available for G2 to take.
Oh my god!
Was because of the early drone that was used by Bestia. Yes, they get the early info on mid, but after they close the door and the camera's still watching towards B main, it's still question marks on Cat and middle.
That's the big point. Why do you ever want to play with any of those question marks? And now, that was, I think, just a quick jiggle peek from Taco, but not fast enough for Jogamo. And Baby Bay's at the same clip right now. Leaf takes one down. And as Bestia goes for a few of these low-buy kills, they are just quickly swept away.
What you want right now is for Jogamo to grab that orb, just wait it out, just make sure here that G2 gets the plant. He'll get the ult for round number 5. Pip just got picked up, as you can see here on the UI. Now they confirm where Mauser's at. They could kill him now because the plant's about to come through. And there's the ult ready for Jogamo. Very clean round for G2 once again, playing in the extremities to just stop Bestia attempting to go for a crunch play.
And we saw this a few times a season or two ago where starting attack on Ascent, if you went hard, it just became attack-sided. Usually you see it be defensive-sided, but I don't think G2 is going to let that happen at all. They continue to go hard, considering it. 2 rounds in a row now, actually. We've seen the coach of Bestia look for that button, but he's going to allow the team to sort things out, get through this experience.
That might cancel the push from G2 after Jogimo moves in there and sees the operator.
Fake teleport actually comes out of Drift back in Boathouse here. Steel Garden pushes out Bestia just for a moment, and Melzer wins a 1v1 on the other side of the map here. But I think they can source out that it's just Melzer, and they want to be able to push through that Bestia is trying to chase on the other side of the map.
Yeah, the hit's coming towards A, but here's a big fight now towards Shed. Jogimo doesn't clear the corner. Oh, no, he turns away. Okay, there was a chance if Jogimo looked towards that left side, but now on the A site, Valen's able to get that pick onto Loss.
They're still pushing. Spike isn't even near sight right now. They just continue to go through the map, and it's not the first round they've done this to Bestia. The last time it was the low buy. They crept through like this. And now I think they might have gotten themselves in a situation that feels a little more uncomfortable. It's G2. Ooh, Valen repairs one, and the swing from David isn't fast enough. Trent in another clutch versus Shibazine. A player we have kept our eye on now coming into this play-in stage. Oh, 1 HP right off the bat. Trent's gonna stay in the open, and he gets the Phantom Diff headshot. What a round from Shibazine to come up big and get that momentum going.
The 140 ding from Trent. Another scenario where we would have seen G2 win at a man disadvantage somehow. Yeah, Baby Bay, I mean, he loses that single fight, but it's okay. They were looking for that pressure. He was trying to find that timing. G2 did an excellent job faking towards that B site. But then you saw those mistakes happen. Jogimo not clearing towards that Shed. Couldn't cut the rotates over across. And now, unfortunately, here for G2, they couldn't just win that 1v1 on Trent to continue the steamroll of the first half, but yet, it's still a 4-on-1 here on the first half. You're happy.
Yeah, they're feeling fine there. It might be some of the ults to create momentum for Bestia, but there's a few on G2 side to answer right back. Is it going to be split now for G2? Did the same thing on Breeze a few rounds into to start working the map a little more.
Surprised Baby Bay went for the ult here instead of buying into an op because he's maxing out onto the next round. I'm Asian, I'm very frugal, I save my money, so buy the op, use the Tour de Force in the next round instead of this round here, but nonetheless, speaking of Baby Bay, he has found a gap. He's already looking towards the A side, trying to see if anybody's going to peek out. And as he clears all of this, he's like, yeah, I don't see anybody. So let's just sell this fake from the drone on the B site, pull everybody towards A, and just exit here.
There's so... Now they're jumping off Fountain in the back of spawn. Bestia is no longer letting mid be open, but they have to worry about A because G2 is about to get another walk-in here. As all that power is over towards Cat. Wait, they're not going to jump in right now.
They can't.
Yeah,
they got stalled.
I was going to say, Taco might... Or sorry, not Taco, Lost. I thought he was going to dive right in with that Hunter's Fury, but they keep it coordinated as G2 just gets that plant down. 5v5 retake here. And is it going to be the choice to waterfall into the site? A little bit of vision. Sees 2, 3 coming through spawn. Taco in to get his own vision here as we're playing basically where everyone is. So they can relay that back to the team. 3 up on Heaven. A few for Bestia still on that ground floor, and they're trying to stop them from getting in. G2, a few good shots from Valen coming in from Hell. And he starts to make it feel real sweaty for the side of Bestia. They have to push through the smoke and source out what's going here. The crossfire almost disjointed, but it's going to be Baby Bay that is able to pick up the final frag there as they keep a bit of safety outside the site as Bestia crash in.
And staying calm there on that 1v2. The instant trade from onto Trent, but also getting the wall bang as he jiggles across. I love the amount of trades of utils, though, from both of these teams. When you had the Hail Mary play of the Paranoia of Melzer so that Bestia could actually flood into the site. Leaf actually placed his own flash from that Vice on the top of the A wall. It stalled the push from Heaven, and it allowed here for Valen to activate at Hell.
Hot dog, come on, baby.
So not only the old comps are back, but the old calls are back too by calling out the hot dogs.
Dang, you saw what that meant to Valen.
Of timeout is to calm the nerves, knowing how this is a very important game for Bestia, where it's do or die, go home. If you lose this series, So it's time to reel back now that pressure that they potentially feel on their shoulders.
It is. They carry the torch for the challenger squads here. They're trying to get that over the finish line. G2 stands in their way right now. Looking for the low-buy fight over the shoulder of each other. Bestia still using a few protocols, but they just keep getting taken apart by G2.
And G2 could really just take their time once again if they want to just maximize orbs one more time, but they mentioned it once again at the desk at the beginning of the series. It is one of those games where G2, they have the heavy upper hand over a Bestia right now.
I mean, favored for the lower bracket run, too, and they know what that pressure's like if they have to play back-to-back games, whether they're BO3s, BO5. They have everything under their belt. Just a quick drone into A, as this is a very noisy map for G2 to work around their side, trying to create distraction with utility, and they still leave Baby Bay and spawn as Leafs getting kills to start off on B. A round where Bestia leave that opening once more, and Valen gets a quick kill there. Jogamo on another one, and they are just wondering where G2 is here. They own the entire map, 6-1 now.
So it comes down to what will Bestia do in this after this timeout call here from their coach. I was wondering if they had enough money to maybe try to go for the Hail Mary double ops if they want to on the defensive side. Try to leverage that range, denying that early util that's being placed by both the Vice and the Chamber from the side of G2. It'll still be the op just on one player. That's lost so far. It's mid control on their side, where it really hasn't started that way for G2. It's always been towards the extremities at the start, opening up here and trying to break even Cypher util. And also grabbing this orb for Jogamo.
More and more hits from that Yoru. A main control for Bestia here. And Baby Bay has a line at least for Cat. Loses that line. Nice job by Taco to play a little bit of a different position here. Start getting G2 to have to play the guessing game.
Thankfully, though, for G2, they could just cut noise. There's no drone. Chubazine already used it at the beginning, but the contact play is good with the operator. That shows its hand.
Goes right back for it. The aggression there. David with the kill straight to B main as they kind of look for that peak. And a lot from mid has been the thorn in the side of Bestia here from G2 as they continue to push. Taco Leah gets a kill from the top of mid. Leaf, no, the 1v4 now. And he's just going to get jumped on quick as Melzer takes the final one. They slow it down a bit. They get a read on G2, and these rounds look very doable for Bestia.
Yeah, lots of 4-1s for G2 that for now 2 rounds has been Baby Bay punished here on the timing that he's trying to find. One towards the A main, this time on the catwalk. Wouldn't be surprised here to see G2 pull up a little bit more of a buddy system this time around too, and on their slow scaling of their defaulting. Or it could be a fast hit. This is going back to the tried and true of the potential dimensional drift with the Hunter's Fury. Roll back the years here on the play. Yeah, he's going to start TPing fake on the A side, get back towards B, and try to see if you could leverage something out of that.
See how fast they execute it. You don't have as much time on the gate crash anymore, so he's going to go right now, throwing as much util as he can. Gets the paranoia out. That's going to hurt Bestia's retake if we do finally get G2 inside sight. As they gate crash right back to position. It's still going to be hard for the team members of G2 to get in, though, as they're stopped by a bit of that util. Spike goes down.
Spike planted.
And that protection from B main should be enough. A little bit of a question mark there as Bestia could flood the site and make this tough for G2.
Ooh, Valen just moved on the top of the staircase. I think he heard where the Omen TP'd at, so there's nobody flanking.
Everybody into switch. Nice hit from David. He's able to get that theft on and figure out where everybody is, but Valen makes the play! Or sorry, Jogamo makes the play. Going up the stairs, Valen now is able to get a few kills on, and a snap judgment from G2 confuses the hell out of Bestia.
Just great positioning from G2 after they plan. Like I said, Valen moving up there. He hears the Melzer TP.
Yeah.
Now for them, it's like, okay, we could guess here that nobody's going to be flanking from Bestia's side. You play the contact, That means that Trent could play safely outside towards B main and pull in the Hunter's Fury. Make all of Bestia scatter around and look at the push forward, just catching everybody off guard, wasting even the neural theft from David in that round. And now even less big util and ults on the side of Bestia into the last remaining rounds of this half. Dominating series so far by G2.
Speed right into this line for Baby Bay to start peeking, even through the one-way that was thrown here by Melzer. Tries to throw another one. He might get caught, but the judge is going to ring out. And he puts a verdict down on 2 members of G2 and 2 of the ones that have been making the impact frags, as Taco puts his name on the board for this round as well.
No way you're going to not win a 4 versus 2 for Bestia, right? But Leaf has the Steel Garden and Odin. And it's always Trent in the clutch that's been very good this stage.
Oh my God. Just laser beams David. Going to get another kill.
No.
And actually up to Trent in the clutch situation. Who else would you want? Taco tries to get a peek, still waiting for the drop sound from one player. Oh, he just shoots to the left of Taco. And a beautiful round for Bestia to come back with 3 for them here, as they still got to close this gap before rounds.
And he needed that hit for Takolia. The crosshair placement was there for Trent, but it was just a pixel peek on the side of Taco to land that shot.
I think he shot his hair bun.
It was a 4 versus 2 here for Bestia.
Yeah. You almost wish it went cleaner.
Yeah, and because Elite's position outside here towards A main, he couldn't really utilize the Steel Garden so that they get the advantage back in their favor on that on the 2 versus 4 for G2. So their shots had to land. Fortunately, it doesn't, and Bestia salvage a round.
Eyes up.
That Odin's still there for Chibazine. Taco Leah with the operator. We talked about how that works a little bit better for him than if they run the traditional here on Ascent with that composition. All 5 for G2. Go, David. Taking that one into his own hand, sees the entire team of G2, so the info's there, but they're a member down. His loss. Quick even up.
Spike planted.
Good ping, good detection. Jogamo trying to move forward. Getting a little antsy in this situation here, and another round looking like it could go towards the way of Bestia as they start to creep back in.
Nowhere to run.
Utils there. Hunter's Fury is going to be the activation code for this one. Good bit of damage coming through so far, but they haven't tagged down any kills for this. Melzer gets a spam onto Valen to start, as Baby Bay is just freely able to walk in the open, and Trent locks him down too. Another round for Bestia, having trouble on that retake, and this one looks like it actually might just go all the way in favor of G2. Yeah, fast peek there, Trent. Oh my word.
I just heard G2 in the background, 3 of them going, ooh, so that had to be a nice little one-tap in the POV of Trent. But what should have been a round converted guaranteed for Bestia again?
Yeah.
Another 4 versus 2 scenario that unfortunately is lost by these shots from Trent. Baby B landing a beautiful off shot, and yeah, that was a nice little one there.
It's not even a sidestep, it's a slide step. It's just smooth.
Trent, we did it again, Trent.
Yep. They did. They thrive in those clutch positions.
Yeah, another day in the office for Trent for sure in these scenarios. As we talked about, not too much economy left available for Bestia in the last couple of rounds. Thankfully, salvaging that round number 11 gave them a little bit of hope. But then now for the round number 12, you can see here, Takolia and Chibazine has not too much to work with, but thankfully Taco still has the overdrive. So he's trying to gamble out, try to be active around the map so he could actually activate the overdrive to its best of its capabilities to close that gap and help the teammates on the defense. He's choosing correctly to start, though. It's mid-pressure out for G2 on the 1-3-1.
Just waiting to activate. They're not hearing anything. So credit to Bestia for making this feel weird, but it's still, G2 knows the protocol they want. I don't think much will stop them on this. They are heading into a few of those guns. As we said, a bit of that saving grace. But this is one of those rounds where it feels kind of weird for both teams. You're wondering if G2 is going to act, if they're actually going to commit, but you still have some in Boathouse. Chibazine gets cleared. And G2 are waltzing into B now. Better late than never, you could say. 15 seconds on the clock. That's going to be Leaf cleared. They jump into sight one after the other, and they have to be all on board with this player. It's not going to work. The timer too low, and they're not even going to get the plant down. They put themselves in an unwinnable position, and Bestia will get a 4th round in the first half with a Red Bull clutch.
Is it going to be one of those stories again here with David getting a clutch in round number 12, and Bestia finds a little bit of hope to fight back in the second half? I mean, it was low HP for Valen. He almost made it into the site, but good on David to find his timing at 2 HP to win the round for Bestia.
It's going to take a lot for our Challengers team to take down America's champions. We'll see if it happens, and they can bring us to a 3rd map when we come back from this break.
For Bestia, and hopefully the double duelist that they have with the dive around that Neon and this Waylay could help them out now, as they're leading so many players over on this B side, but G2 still has a good stack here.
Baby Bay right up in their face with Rendezvous ready. There's a bit of damage there, and the force through actually from Jogamo for a secondary hit comes through, and he's able to gate crash, so they're playing the double trickery. Oh, 3 quick kills though for Bestia. A flurry inside the site, and they gain full control here.
That's crazy. I think that's 2 kills they got through smokes as well for Bestia running back into the B site. Gotta count your lucky stars. A chance to fight back now as we're trading pistols potentially in the second map.
Leaf, super clean. David's possibilities, he brings them very low in HP. You can see Melzer's low as well. As they creep into the site, this becomes even scarier. Van Silly, a few more shots. There's no way this is a possibility that G2 can do this. It was supposed to be Bestia's pistol round.
Another 2v4! Bestia, you cannot let them do this to you! They had 4 players, 1 smoke that they try to turtle up in on their side, and suddenly that turtle smoke that they have doesn't allow for them to trade out with the rest of the team, opening gaps for G2 to take, for the backstab to happen right here for Leaf. That's just so nice. Actually, it was a Valen smoke on that right side. So even better in terms of how they adjust for G2 at the managed advantage, and yeah, Takulia is leading back, man. He's not liking that.
You got Baby Bay and Trent saying, oh, we clutched again. You got those 2 doing it. Where do you miss?
Yeah.
Where do you miss?
I feel like a watch party. I just jinxed this like FNS or 6 or something.
Oh, my gosh. And they push up again. They have so much safety in Rendezvous and Gate Crash just to get into Bestia's face and make it feel that much worse.
Ali's gonna plant down.
Yeah.
Thankfully, also Valen's fallen at door.
No. Oh, Baby Bay, a few dance moves there. You got to congratulate him for that. At his age, it's hard to move in such a way. Jogamo and Baby Bay clean up a few more. Oh my, thought he would be able to get that quickly with a switch, but Shubazine makes a case for putting a few more kills on the board. The defuse comes through, and so does another round here for G2.
I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know if you ever seen that video of I woke up like Baby Bay. He could cut shapes, man. He could dance.
Yeah.
Throws out the moves, wins that fight against David, who usually is unstoppable in these alert timings that he finds. The shots that he also finds for Bestia in these moments. That's 2 shots right in the back.
Just 1 more.
I mean, you can see it. He's trying to place his crosshair for a headshot, and Baby Bay is just crouching, going up, going down. Just unfortunate.
We've all been there. One of us. 10-4. 2 retakes for G2 just to start this pistol round, or start the second half rather. And they are going to still do some wandering. See if they can't find anything. Oh my god, Valen with the timing! And Takulia's only able to just repair that. Loss on 11 HP. Baby Bay drops David, and again, it just seems to fall away from Bestia here at the end of Ascent. An 11th round on the horizon for G2. Baby Bay finds him, and everybody is in pursuit now from G2. Ooh, good slide. Safely. Uh-oh. Oh. Ooh, just gets by the Vice kill.
Asking for a lot here for Takulia and even gets wall banged. I think even before getting pinged.
Yeah, before pinged.
And this is another round converted after the piss round for G2 being flawless now in this second stage, putting themselves at 21-0.
Jeez. Just playing in the heads of Bestia at this point. On top of their plays, inside their plays. And Bestia can... Nope, not another water spill.
The cap's there. It's all good.
We're good.
But look at that. A round coming in for G2 where they could flood, have the possibility of flood retaking with Leaf if they want to.
Yeah.
Still playing a three-man stack, but this time not having Jogimo with them. Jogimo is trying to find some info in front of A main to start. He finds it.
Phelan, the sliver peek. Nice job by Lost, though, taking a different position here. Just a different look. Something is all they need to throw G2 off here. This is going to be keeping G2 off a game point. Keeping themselves alive in this series. That much more. David's going all the way around here for a bit of a late play.
Not too sure with Leaf at the door there. Like I said, they had the Steel Garden to work with for the retake. But I guess too afraid of the lurk of David in case the backstack came back from tree. You can already see even Baby Bay is trying to find him, trying to take him down, so that wastes the clock down even more. And Trent cannot do the heroic plays. And because of that threat of David just lurking around that site, there's no capabilities of and opportunities for G2 to win another 2 versus X round. So Bestia scores a 5th. Money's still pretty decent out for G2 in the next round, though.
Yeah, they've got to work through quite a bit of G2's economy to feel super comfortable. And Bestia need to find everything within them that they've practiced. Hold that torch up high for the challenger squads and bring it all to G2 here. Because this is where G2 can find all the experience to close out the game and understand exactly what needs to happen. Melzer's going to be a big factor here. Loss, still hyping him up.
And now as the curtains might fall down onto Bestia, they're going to try whatever they can, anything that they can to fight back in this attack side. Leading on a 3-2 split, and we'll see how they activate in round 17.
Piqué baranda uno, no sé quién.
No hicieron nada en el agua.
Claro, piqué baranda uno.
Ya juntémonos.
El Omen baranda de guardia.
Juntémonos, ¿ves?
Dale.
Cuidado, les pueden estar bajando medio.
Hagámonos juntos para medio.
Hay un cuadro acá al lado, hermano. Ven, 1, 2, 3, va.
Cuadro otro más medio, puchado, cuidado.
Droneo, juntémonos, P.
Sí, espera.
Me quedé cerrado, P. Estoy viendo medio.
Ya, estoy abierto.
Voy a salir de casi.
Hermano, tengo todo el agua. O spliten o vamos en el B. Spliten para la...
Piteo.
Dale.
Está la trapia acá, tiene toda la info.
Moquea para nosotros.
Me moquearon, puede ir main,
Bueno, hay un one baiteado acá, creo.
Cabrón, tiempo, por favor. Ya, hemos quedado en 3 segundos.
Está baranda el chamber.
La caja baranda.
Benito,
¿usted para nosotros en baranda?
Sí.
Ya estoy al lado tuyo, hermano.
Así para mí acá si consigue.
Quebré trapi, flasheo como sea, 1, 2, flasheo.
Baranda 1.
Puedo tener main, pueden.
Murió baranda.
Puede estar abierto para mí, fecha.
Cuidado la ulti la Vice, puede estar retake. Cuidado, se comete uno, papi.
Te miro cielo, te pueden subir cielo, te moqueo.
Llegando cielo, van a sumar por tiempo,
Tiene ulti Vice, van a jugar con eso.
Spike planted.
Lo está muy bien.
Me tengo que tirar Maxi, cabrón.
Enemy
Bueno,
Corta.
tiempo, Berser. Déjame jugar a mí primero, ¿ya?
Te mirando casi, para que no te comas, te mirando para que no comas.
Ahora estoy cruzado con vos.
También así.
Estoy trifeando igual.
last player standing.
Lado cruz tuyo, acá. 60.
NT, weón. NT,
Oh,
It's a nightmare for Bestia. Leaf continues to be in their heads. A Red Bull clutch and a series point put onto Bestia now. All the pressure is on.
it's the wrong beast that has awoken here. It's G2 just winning so many clutch scenarios against Bestia.
Player standing.
That was a perfect crossfire setup. What an entry and a work by Loss when they were at their turn on a 3 versus 5. It was looking so doable that they finally are able to convert a minute advantage on their side for a dub. But it's Nathan Leaf. Singular Leaf finds singular fights and gets that round for G2. Map and series point. Bestia at the brink of elimination.
Baby Bay. It's that first piece of the wall here that could stop Bestia's run. They've made it into the site, and he's keeping quiet right now in the discipline category. And the first kill comes through. They begin to extinguish that torch for Bestia. As the plant goes down, they are giving Bestia all that room to set up as G2 prepare their own retake. Drone first. Hearing the drone actually activates Shuby's ultimate. So Hunter's Fury is going to try to delay and takes down Trent, so that initiator util is going to be tough to find anywhere on the entrance to the site. Jogamo with one, and they already have a bit of forward positioning here. Goes in to source the rest of the players. David, everybody's kind of stuck on that left side of the site as G2 looks to win another one of these clutch rounds. Baby Bay with the final shot. They extinguish the challenger's flame, and G2 will continue through the lower bracket to keep that playoff dream alive.